Hello everyone and welcome to the second part of my series about new units added to Eador in the latest Allied Forces DLC. In this video we are gonna be talking about dwarves, specifically about Dwarven engineers. As always in this series, we'll talk about the build of the hero we will be using, about his gear and spells, and then we will move to the army. We'll talk about all units you'll be using, especially about those engineers, and then I will show a fight or two where you will be able to see how effective this army actually is. So, let's move to the hero, and as you can see, this build is the same as we are using in the previous part. The same commander scout build we are using with our elven army. So I'm not gonna talk about all of this again. I will just leave a link in the description, and if you haven't seen it, you can check the description in the previous part. I should probably mention one change I've decided to make here, and that's offensive tactics on level 3, because especially during leveling you will get into melee combat with this army, and I felt like boosting melee's offensive skills of my dwarves could be useful. During the leveling it I would say was quite important, especially on really low levels. The further you get, the higher levels you get, the less important it is. But it will really make your life easier on low levels, so it's probably worth taking. When we look on our gear, there is nothing special. The gear is again almost the same as what we are using in the previous video. We want to boost the range damage of our hero as much as we can, so take the strongest range weapon you have available. Same for arrows. If you have access to Eagle Pennant, that's probably the best item above a level. I think about level 10 you should already equip this. Or if you don't have Eagle Pennant, you can use any banner that's boosting hit points and stamina of your units. It will be a good choice. From the rest, I'm using Veterans set for the experience bonus, but for the late game you want to focus on items that will give any bonus to your whole army, especially like its survivability or ranged attack, which is the case of Marshal's Cape and Griffin's Helmet, or items that boost the range damage of your hero further, like Sharpshooter Gloves. For spells which we are using, the most important probably Astral Energy, because from time to time we will need use 2 heals per turn with our cleric, so Astral Energy will allow us to do just that. And never underestimate the extra resistance you can get from the buff the Astral Energy leaves on your unit. Webs, we are using webs quite often during leveling. In endgame it's not that important anymore, but we don't really need to replace them. Most of the time we'll be shooting with our hero anyway, so I never felt like I have to take more spells. 3 Astral Energies were enough like almost all the time. Stone Skin, again, it's a spell that you don't really have to have. It's just in rare occasions where a really strong unit can get to you and you can't do anything about it, and you are afraid that your dwarves may not survive. You may want to use this, but it's not necessary. If you will find a spell that you will feel is better for the build and you can benefit from more from that, definitely you can replace it. Also for restoration. Restoration I was using a lot during leveling for some extra healing before my cleric got some medals and became a bit more effective. In the end game, restoration really is not necessary and you can replace it. Maybe not a bad thing would be haste, especially if you can get Hydra as a tier 4 unit, then boosting its movement is always a good thing, and if I had Hydra I would definitely replace the restoration, but until then you really don't need anything like that, and as long as you have 3 Astral Energies you will be probably fine. So that's the description of our hero, and let's get to our army. For that we will jump into Garrison, and here I think I'll start with our dwarves, because that will show you why the rest of our army, or most of it, is composed of siege weapons. So let's take one of them. Maybe before I start talking about them, with the Dwarven engineers, there is a choice you have to make. There are two ways how you can level these guys up, because when you get upgrade for your dwarves, which are pure melee unit, you gain some ranged capabilities with your engineers. So there is a choice. Either you make your dwarves or dwarven engineers as tanky as possible and focus only on their hit points, stamina, defenses, uh, or you make them stronger in range combat and focus on their ranged attack. Give them ranged medals like the order of the marksman I'm using here, and try to make them more effective in range combat and do some extra damage from the get some extra damage from the army. uh, I personally haven't decided yet which way is better, and I think it will be up to everyone what will be like better for your playstyle. I think both options are available, and I will leave this to your decision which way you're gonna choose. But you should probably decide this early, because it affects the choice of medals, and you won't end up with army like this where one of my dwarves has 3 orders of the marksman and the rest of them have defensive medals. You should probably focus them only in one way. But even if you do it like this, the army is still gonna work, and or because the most important role of your dwarves isn't actually dealing damage but supporting your siege weapon. When we look at the dwarf, you can see that his stats are not that impressive. Maybe the first line isn't bad. 27 hit points, 24 stamina and 15 morale isn't bad for a tier 1 unit. The second line, it's a bit worse. Movement of 1, attack 7, counter attack 11. But I haven't invested into these stats at all. So these are basically base stats you get from a dwarf, and there is really no reason to boost them. If you're gonna deal damage, you are gonna do it with your range weapon, or it will be dealt by your siege weapons. So you can skip this, and there are definitely some more important stats you need to boost. And those more important stats are either in the third line, our melee defense, range defense, and resistance, or in the fourth ring, our ranged attack, range, and ammunition. It depends on which way you decide to go, which will be a higher priority for you. As I said, both is possible, and you can boost both to quite decent numbers. Especially the defenses for tier 1 unit are quite impressive. The ranged attack can be boosted a bit, but you can't get that high, and uh, you won't be able to make your dwarf engineers like a main damage dealer for the army. Um, And as I said, it's up to you which way you want to try. If you want a bit more survivability or a bit more damage, both will work. Medals, as I've already said, depends on which way you decide to go. And now we get to the most important part. As a support unit, the most important part of the build is in this line, and especially in the end, these two skills, repair and engineer. Let's start with repair. Repair says the unit can repair the damage dealt to war machines and mechanical creatures. So finally there is a way in the game how to repair mechanical units. War machines, ballistae and catapults were quite effective even before Allied Forces DLC, but they had one huge problem. Once they started taking damage, there was no way how to fix them, so they were eventually destroyed and you were not able to do anything about that. So with the repair skill we can finally do something about that, and we can keep our siege weapons on full health, and I've never felt like I had problem keeping them alive finally. So really important skill. We get it right away when we get the promotion to Dwarf Engineer. So we don't have to invest into that, and it works perfectly on level 5. It's usually more than enough, and as I said, I never felt like I would need more. And the second and probably most important skill of the Dwarven Engineer is engineering. All neighboring friendly mechanical creatures and war machines capable of shooting receive +5 to their ranged attack. Though you don't start engineering on level 5, you can get some extra levels to engineering as you level up, and I recommend giving these promotions the highest priority no matter which build you decide to go with your dwarves. Um, this +2 up to +5 boost to your range units actually stacks with other engineers around the weapon. So if you have multiple engineers placed around one siege weapon, that siege weapon will get all the bonuses from all engineers around, and you can boost the damage of your siege weapons to incredibly high numbers thanks to this, and that makes them extremely effective. And as I said, prioritize this as much as possible. You will see how much extra damage you will be able to do with your siege weapons thanks to this. From the rest, we have two immunities, petrification and poison immunity. Petrification immunity I don't feel is that important. I've eventually taken it, but you will use this mostly in fights with the Medusas and Basilisks maybe. Those are the only units that have the capability to petrify you in the game, and it's definitely not that important. I've eventually get the option either take petrification immunity or +1 to morale, so in that case I've decided to take it, but usually you will probably want to take something else, and if you end up with a dwarf that doesn't have petrification immunity on level 30, you can probably live without that. Poison immunity I've prioritized a bit more because there is significantly more units that are capable of poisoning you, and because we are using our dwarves to protect our siege weapons, we want to be able to mitigate as much damage as possible. With this we are completely mitigating the poison, so this has a bit higher priority, and you should have poison immunity on level 30, I would say. Next we have Hill's Knowledge. We start with this skill already as the uh, level 0 dwarf, as this unit, as you can see, and therefore we don't have to invest anything into it. It only means that we are more effective while we are fighting in hills, so if you can position your dwarves on hills, they will be a bit better. It's free, so why not? Next we have Forest March. Forest March is available almost to all units which have movement of 1, and even though I'm not prioritizing it that much in this build, you should probably have Forest March when you get to level 30 in case you need to move a bit more, reposition your army. With movement of 1 it's hard to do it fast, so this Forest March can help you quite a bit with that, and with 24 stamina you have in the end, or over 20 stamina you have in the end, you never have problems when you need to use it. And that leaves us with last two skills, that's armor piercing shot and precise shot, and here it depends on which build you decide to go with your dwarves. When you go the tanky build, you can probably go even without these skills because you'll be mostly just standing there taking hits and supporting your siege weapons. If you want to do some extra range damage with your dwarves, you should probably take it to be a bit more effective, and it will add some damage that you will feel during the battle, so probably not a bad idea to take it for the ranged build. So these are our dwarves, and now when we know their special abilities, you can understand why I've chosen the rest of the units. We have Ballistae for the tier 2. There is nothing else you want to take from tier 2, you just want to take Ballistae 4 times. And for all your siege weapons you want to focus only on their range damage. If you have the option to get extra range damage, take it over anything else. Right after that you want to give a high priority to extra ammunition, so when you have the chance to take it always, unless there is range damage against that. Siege weapons have really low ammo when you recruit them, and even though they have the collect ammo ability, which allows them to grab some ammo during the battle and keep shooting again after that, you don't always have a time to do this, and especially in tougher fights, you definitely don't want to stop after 3 turns to grab some ammo when there are still strong units alive on the opponent's side. So you really should boost the amount of ammunition you have, and as you can see, you can boost it quite significantly. I think Ballista starts with 3 ammunition and this guy has 9, so with 9 ammunition you never have problems, even in the longest fights, and you really should do that. I think 9 is probably too much and it's a bit overkill, but at least 7 I think would be good idea. Um, for the 3rd tier and 4th tier, I've taken catapults 3 times as the strongest siege weapon we have available. These units can do really a lot of damage, and same as with ballista, just focus on their ranged attack as much as possible and try to get some more ammo for them. Here I have only 5, which is not ideal on level 29. I would rather have 6 or 7, but yeah, if you just don't get the option to get more ammunition than this, you can use the collect ammo eventually, but really try to get at least 6. In some fights, the delay of 1 turn where you have to collect ammo can be quite important. And 2 remaining units, Cleric and Paladin. Cleric, as I've already said in the previous part, I want to use in almost any army. Here, because we are using dwarves who can be resurrected as our shield, I want to have the capability to resurrect them in case they get killed. Especially dragons are quite dangerous and they can even one-shot some of your dwarves, especially when you go with the non-tanky build, so having the option to resurrect them can be quite important. And the last unit, here I have Paladin. I usually want to have a strong tier 4 melee unit in my army. I wanted to try Paladin and I'm a bit disappointed with him. I would definitely take Hydra if I had the option to take it. On this map I haven't found Hydra's egg, so I tried something else, but Hydra is by far the strongest tier 4 unit, tier 4 melee units players available, and if you have it, just use it. There is nothing better you can do or you can choose. So this is our army, and before we get into fights, let's quickly talk about how we get to dwarves, how we get their alliance. Alliance with dwarves, it's not that hard to get. Dwarves are still considered a good race, so we need to have a good karma to have the option to get the alliance with them. So if you want to play with them, make sure that you have a good karma. And when you have enough good karma, you need to finish a quest for them. You will give you a quest to find the golden axe, some kind of artifact of their king or something like that, which was stolen by bandits. You can find this artifact in a location called the Bandit Lair, which can be sometimes a bit tricky to find, but there is one thing that will make the search a bit easier. Uh, there should be a bandit lair in every province that was originally guarded by brigands. So, when you look on the map and you see a province that's guarded by brigands, just remember that province, and once you get the quest, start exploring the province and you should be able to get the lair of the bandits in every province originally guarded by brigands. But I have to say that I actually managed to finish this quest quite easily, and I didn't feel like it was too challenging. It actually felt a bit more difficult to find the Dwarven province than finishing the quest. So with this little trick, if you know that, you shouldn't have any problems finishing the quest and you should have it. Probably it's possible to finish this even on quite low levels and get the alliance quite soon. So that was the alliance, and I think now we are ready for some fights. Do we have all units? We do, and for these fights I've decided to show fight against higher tier battle mages, so let's go there, and then we will go into this province where I think I have Cult of the Dragon. Yes, so both of these fights are quite challenging and we'll see how this army will be able to handle this. And because this army doesn't have such a huge burst during the first turn, we'll also see how strong our dwarves are at actually defending our siege weapons. So first, let's go after these battle mages and end the turn. Come on. And as you can see, the high tier battle mages have quite a few dangerous units, especially warlocks and phoenixes are quite strong. So we'll have to do something about them. And I've seen this fight before when I was just scouting these locations to choose some decent fights. And we even have two phoenixes in this fight, so this makes it even more challenging. So how do we do this? First, and what you have to almost always do when you are fighting warlocks, try to kill them before they can do anything. They are really strong and they would cause too much trouble. So let's kill him, and now let's focus on these phoenixes. I will try to weaken one of them before he gets to me, but I'm not gonna kill him. I want him to get to me when he's weakened. If I kill him, he will get resurrected thanks to his reincarnation ability and return in a full power. Like this, he's significantly weakened because he has low hit points. I will kill him on the next turn when he gets to me. Here, because we don't have the range to attack them, I will just go through all my units, do some damage to them, do some damage to the opponent, and the turn. Can we attack here? We can. What do I want to kill? Well, let's do some damage to this guy now, and you can attack here. Okay, as you can see, we are not able to kill these tier 4 units, so now we will see how effective this army is in defense. So let's end the turn. There is one reason why I'm using the hero in the first line. First, he has a lot of hit points, and second, the AI is prioritizing hero a lot. So if you have the hero in the front line, it will often happen what's happening here, that the strongest units are attacking him, and like this you are protecting the rest of your units. So if you can do it like this, do it. It definitely helps a lot, and we can easily keep him alive. I think that here we would easily be able to survive hit from phoenixes. I was hoping that at least one of them will go after our dwarves. They decided to attack like this. Well, then we'll just kill them. Okay, let's get the last hit. Can you finish this? You can. Here I will get the last hit with my dwarves, because it would be a waste attacking a unit with 13 hit points with this catapult who can do up to like 50 damage. Our hero can attack. We'll kill another caster, and here we can do some damage to the remaining units. You can see that even though both tier 4 units managed to get to us, we handled this quite easily. And now it's just about finishing the fight. Here we have even taken 1 damage to the ballista, so I will use it to show the repair skill. We don't really have to do it, but just to show it, I will use it with one of these two guys. And here you can see that these units, these gargoyles, are attacking our dwarves, and you can see that we are taking no damage from them. And you wouldn't be taking any damage even from significantly stronger units, so these dwarves are really good at defending their siege weapons while they are boosting them. And we can maybe check the attack of our siege weapons now when they are boosted by our dwarves. You can see that, for example, this catapult has attack of 42, which is really ridiculous. Like a unit with attack of 42. I don't think I have seen even a hero with attack like that for quite a while. Maybe Scout with really good gear can get more than this. So the damage our siege weapons can do is really high. Okay, let's finish these units with our dwarves, and now we can get back to our siege weapons. Let's kill this. Shouldn't have any problems. Okay, hero can kill that guy. You can kill this. And next turn, I'll just finish this. Okay, as you can see, I'm not using my dwarves that much. I'm really using them to get last hits when attacking with my siege weapons would be a waste. But as I said, they are mostly supported units, so it's perfectly fine. And you can see that our siege weapons can easily handle the army without any problems, like 2 tier 4 units, and we have still killed them in like 3 turns. Okay, what about the reward? Just let's quickly check this here. A poison immunity, yes, on level 30 I should probably grab it. This guy will get range defense, triple hit points for this guy. Here we will get range defense. And what do we have? Bracers of Might. That's not a bad item for my warrior. So yeah, this is a decent item actually. Okay, but these items, that's not the reason why I'm recording this video. So let's quickly move to the second location I want to show in this video, and that will be the Scout of the Dragon. So for that we need to move into the desert. And let's quickly go through these events and attack the dragon. I may lose a unit in this fight, or actually a unit may die during the fight, but we have our cleric, so in case that happens, we still have the resurrection. So in the end, we still should have a full army. So let's see. Yeah, Cult of the Dragon, 2 Griffins, Fire Dragon, so quite a lot of damage on their side, and we just can't kill the dragon on the turn 1, so we will have to somehow survive the first hit if possible. Let's just do as much damage as we can to him during the first turn. Still decent damage, but for a dragon, yeah, not enough. We can attack with our hero and with these guys as well. Every bit of damage may be important. And these guys can't reach the dragon, so we may as well attack those griffins. Okay, what about you? You can't even reach those griffins, so let's attack something else. You can attack this. Okay, and that's all we can do. What about our cleric? Well, let's use him to kill a unit, why not? Okay, next turn. And let's see, can we survive one hit from the fire dragon or not? It depends what he's gonna attack. Those griffins are going first, so we probably won't attack the hero, or he is gonna attack the hero. Okay, this makes it quite a bit easier. Yeah, as I already said, the AI really prioritizing the hero a lot, so if you can position him like this, you can take a lot of damage with him, easily survive that, and this makes it much easier. But again, in this case, even if the dragon decided to attack our dwarves, we still should be able to survive that, if not uh, like straight. We should be able to resurrect the dwarf with the cleric and still finish the fight without losses. So now we can easily finish the dragon. He's down. I will use the hero to kill one of these clerics because they're too far away for other units. And what else can we do? Let's kill the monk. You can try to kill this priest. And what else? We still have 4 dwarves, so let's try to do some damage with them. Okay, you can attack that monk maybe. And let's end the turn. Okay, now it's time to kill the second cleric. And how does it look like here? We probably won't be able to reach those monks. Yeah, so I will just move my paladin forward and finish them on the next turn. At least we have more time to heal our hero. Okay, and finish. So, you can see that we've managed to kill Cult of the Dragon with level 20 Fire Dragon without losing a unit, without problems. So the army really is quite effective. We can do a lot of damage. It was, I think, like turn 4, but only because we are not in range of 2 units. Otherwise it would be, I think, level 3. So pretty strong. And what do we have here? Another level up, and we definitely want to take +1 engineer for this guy, +3 hit points, extra healing for this guy. Here maybe extra resistance, this catapult, +2 ranged attack. I definitely want to take that. And now when the video is over, I get the Hydra egg I've been looking for like 400 turns, of course. Okay, but quite decent loot, I have to say, from this location. Okay, let's quickly go through this. And now I think I've shown everything I wanted to show. This army is really fun to play. You have quite a few different units there, and the leveling is quite interesting. There are 2 approaches you can take the builds of your dwarves. So interesting army, effective in the end, fun to play. So again, another build worth trying. And for the next part, I will again try to come with something like this with another build that I'll be able to present and will be interesting and fun to play. Hope you will join me in the next part, and until then, have a good time and bye bye.